Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Morning.
Salam, sir.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Alright guys, so let's proceed with our lecture. For the last part of our lecture to finish up chapter 6. But first of all, I want to welcome Madam Sauda to our class together. Right? Okay, so basically in chapter 6, we have done 90% for both parts, ungroup and group data. So we have done completely with measures of location before. Measures of location involving calculation of mean, mode, median, quartiles and so on. Together with measures of dispersion when we calculate variance and standard deviation. Okay, variance and standard deviation. Okay, so last time, lecture 3, we have done completely with part A and B. Part A, B done. So for today, we want to proceed with the last part. Find and interpret the Pearson's coefficient of skewness. Okay, it's just a method to determine the skewness of the data that we obtain. Okay, so tak ada apa, kita just nak calculate saja, formula telah diberi. Jadi kita akan cuba kira dan tengok apa yang terhasil daripada data yang kita ada tu. Okay, so that's the idea for today. Right, so this part we have done already. Last Tuesday, right? Okay, so move on with symmetry and skewness. We are still waiting for around 57, 61, around 10 to 14 students left to join the class. Please remind your classmate to join the class. Okay, make sure please join the class by using MOE email only. Okay, use MOE email only. For those sharing device, please contact me, okay, to make sure that you attend the class. Okay, so let's proceed with Pearson's coefficient of skewness. Guys, these two are the given formulas. Okay, these are the formulas of Pearson's coefficient. Okay, the first formula and the second formula. As you can see, the notation states as big S with sub K. Alright, big S with sub K. This is the notation of Pearson's coefficient. Kenapa tak pakai huruf P? Kita tak pakai huruf P, kita pakai huruf S. Okay, big S with small sub K. Alright, so the idea is we want to calculate the value of Pearson's coefficient of skewness, and then we want to take a look if the value is less than 0 or greater than 0 or exactly 0. Okay, if less than 0 means that skewed to the left or negatively skewed. Okay, that's the idea. Senang ya. Kalau nilai itu negatif, maksudnya skewed to the left or negatively skewed. Kalau nilai itu positif, maksudnya skewed to the right or positively skewed. Okay, kalau nilai itu kosong, okay, exactly kosong, so we can call the data distribution as symmetrical. Okay, that's the idea. Itu saja. Kita akan kira dan tengok apa yang akan terhasil. Okay, positif ke, negatif ke, ataupun symmetrical. But be careful. If the values lies in between this region, we will use slightly term in our answer. For example, the data distribution slightly skewed to the right, slightly skewed to the left, ataupun betul-betul macam lebih kurang kosong. Maksudnya kalau kita dapat Pearson's coefficient tu, the Pearson's coefficient of skewness tu, we obtain 0.001, for example, 0.001, almost 0. So we can call the data as almost symmetrical. Ataupun kalau dah 0.001 tu kita round off terus jadi 0, terus jadi symmetrical lah. Kalau macam 0.01, for example 0.01, we can call the data as almost symmetrical, for example. Okay, alright. So move on to the example. Alright guys, so given the data here, ungroup or group?
Ungroup.
Ungroup ah.
Ungroup, sir.
Okay. Oh, dia pending eh. Okay, take a look at the data. Make sure the data given to you in ascending order first. Is it in ascending order or scattered number? Ascending dah kan?
Sending.
Dah ada ascending order dah. Okay. Saya nak panggil lah beberapa pelajar ni, dia nama dia famous sikit lah dah di kalangan saya punya data ni. Habib ada? Habib DFT04. Habib tak ada ha? Habib tak ada. Habib 1, Habib 2, Habib 3. Habib tak ada ha? Ammar ada? Ammar Hafiz. DFT4 juga. Ammar Hafiz. Tak ada juga. Ammar Hafiz 1, Ammar Hafiz 2, Ammar Hafiz 3. Boleh kejut kawan-kawan tu. Sekejap lagi akan ada panggilan kedua. Syed Jibril lah. Syed Jibril. Macam panggil Malaikat Jibril. Seram pula pasal. Syed Jibril. Oh, tak ada. Tak ada juga lah. Syed Jibril 1, 2, Syed Jibril 3. Tak ada juga. Okey, tak apa. Sekejap lagi akan ada panggilan kedua. Okey. Siti Waidah ada tak? Siti Waidah. Guys, Siti Waidah DST02. Tak ada juga? Satu.
Ada,
Siti Waidah. Oh, ada. Okey, sorry. Siti Waidah lah. Lambat sampai dia punya ni tu. Sorry lah. Internet college yang slow sikit lah. Belah sana tu. Macam saya pakai Unify sikit lah. Unify college laju lah. Alright. So, let's proceed. Siti Waidah, please accompany me to solve example number 1. Alright, as you can see, example number 1, given the following sorted data. Sorted lah. Okay, the data already sorted. Find the mean and median. Alright, so Siti Waidah, please help me to solve for mean.
Mean nilai total nilai X bahagi dengan
So mean notation is X bar, betul?
X bar.
Okay, X bar. So we want sum total? Sum of X divided by?
Sum of N.
Sum of data, total data lah. Right. Total number of data. Okay. So sum of X, what do you get? Sum of X. Total up, please total up for me. Ada, N ada berapa lah?
10.
10 eh?
10.
No. Alright. So, sum of X. Siti Waidah tadi, dapat apa dah?
24.8.
24.8 eh? Okay, 24.8. Alright, so then we can simply 24.8. Okay, so then we can simply substitute 24.8 replacing our sum of X divided by total number of data, which is 10. So then we can calculate. What do you get next? 2.48. How about others? Others dapat jawapan yang sama lah.
Ya.
Sama lah.
Sama sir.
Dia kalau tak sama tu, kena hati-hatilah. Sebabnya benda ni dia jadi carry forward lah. Saat lagi kita nak kira Pearson's coefficient pun, kita akan gunakan mean tu. Kalau mean tu sudah salah, maka jawapan semua salah. So kena hati-hati. Okay, kita dapat kaedah saja nanti. Alright, so mean done. Okay, please proceed with median. Okay, Siti Waidah, thank you. So, Siti Waidah ada. Siti Aisyah ada, Siti Aisyah. Geng Siti ke?
Saya sir.
Siti Aisyah ada kan? Siti Aisyah ada. Tapi Siti Aisyah memang dah outstanding lah. Siti Aisyah rehat dulu Siti Aisyah rehat dulu sebab dia memang aktif baru-baru ni. Nurul Najla ada? Nurul Najla DHT06.
Ada.
Ada pun dia. Okay, Najla, please help me to calculate median. Oh,
Median kita pakai formula n/2 plus n/2 plus 1/2.
okay. Why we use that formula? Because first of all, to calculate median, kita kena tengok dulu number of data, betul tak?
Betul tu.
So this one is even, right?
Yes, even number.
Okay, so if even, what we need to do is we will use the formula of n/2, right? Betul tak?
Yes.
Okay, and then
Betul.
n/2 plus 1 tadi kan? Betul tak?
Ya. Betul.
Data, and then divided by 2.
Yes.
Okay. So what you get for n/2, you get the 5th data, right? Plus the 6th data. Betul?
Betul.
Okay. 5th data? 2 point. Mata saya tak pun nampak lah. 2.4. Ya. Najlah, betul tak? 2.4. And then plus 2 point?
Plus 2.5.
2.5 divided by 2. So the answer will be?
That's it.
Give me a second. I want to continue in below lah. Alright? Because I want to show another part in our right hand side later. So divided by 2. So means that the answer is 2.45. Okay. Thank you, Nurullah. Thank you very much. Okay. So median done. Median settle. Okay. So mean done, median done. Okay. So then let's proceed with the next part. Hence, hence. Be careful with the word hence. This is a powerful word. Hence, because hence means that you need to use the current calculation that you have to solve the next part. To solve what? To calculate the Pearson's coefficient of skewness. Okay, to calculate the Pearson's coefficient of skewness. Be careful, take a look at the formula back. Pearson's of coefficient. So guys, which formula that you want to use? Formula number 1 or formula number 2? Which one? Number 1 ke number 2?
Number 2.
Kita akan guna number
2.
right? Sure lah
Number 1 sir.
Number 1 je.
Number 1. Dia sebelum ada perkataan hence guys. Siapa guna number 2?
Number 1.
Siapa guna number 2? Maaf cakap salah terus. Sebab apa? Dia tak minta mood guys. That's the meaning of the word hence. Kalau ada perkataan hence tu, memang wajib guna you punya calculation yang sedia ada. So your previous calculation is was finding mean and median. So compulsory to use formula involving mean and median. Dapat tak? So means that we need to use formula number 1. Okay. So 3 times mean minus median divided by standard deviation. But be careful guys. We still need to obtain standard deviation, right? Betul tak? Standard deviation tak ada lagi. So parts of the calculation marks involving finding Pearson's coefficient of skewness is going to be for standard deviation. Alright. So let's calculate the standard deviation. The formula is SURD all together sum of x square. Here you go. Sum of x all together square divided by n over n minus 1. Betul ah? Ada salah bagi tahu ah.
Betul sir.
Lama dah saya tak jam dulu ni. Alright. So let's proceed with the calculation, but be careful, we still need to obtain another part of the data that we haven't before. So this one still need to be calculated. Sum of x square. Syazwan Hakimi ada tak? Syazwan Hakimi. Syazwan Hakimi. Betul. Mana Bashirah? Betul. Syazwan Hakimi tak ada? Syazwan Hakimi 1, Syazwan Hakimi 2, Syazwan Hakimi DHT 06. Tak ada. Ini random ni Nurul Fahimah ada? Nurul Fahimah. DHT Nurul Fahimah ke? Siti Fahimah atau Nurul Fahimah saya rasa nama. DHT 07. Fahimah. Calling for Fahimah. Fahimah. Saya madam. Lembut tu saya jadi. Fahimah, what is the sum x square? Oh, internet slow . So while we are waiting for the value, we can substitute others. So this one is 24.8. Be careful. Altogether, power of 2 for the sum x only divided by n, which is 10. All together divided by 10 minus 1. And be careful, your cert must cover everything. Your cert must cover everything. Fahimah, dapat tak Fahimah? Sum x square. Dapat apa? Fahimah tulis pun tak apa. Type pun tak apa. Kalau cakap tu tak sampai kan. Type pun tak apa. Alright. Ades macam mana Ades? Sum x square please.
615.04.
7.52.
6154.
67.52.
Right?
67.52.
67.52. Okay, 67.52. How about Ades? Ades, yang lain dapat sama tak?
Yes, sir.
Sama. Okay,
Sama.
67.52.
Sama.
Oh lama, dah macam chorus speaking sama. Bergema Kol-kolah dah. Alright. So okay, thank you Faimah. Yeah, 67.52. Alright. Okay, please do calculate. What do you get the final answer for this one? Be careful when using your calculator and make sure you key in correctly. Yeah, Nazrul.
0.668.
0.818.
Okay, saya nampak tu. Okay, thank you. Vanessa pun respond tu. Okay. 0.818 or you can make it 0.8176 as Vanessa said wrote just now. Pun boleh. Okay. So 0.818. This one for our what we call this one as standard deviation. Okay, this is our standard deviation. Alright. So for me, because we still need to calculate Pearson's coefficient, guys. We still need to calculate Pearson's coefficient of skewness. So it's better for this one, your standard deviation, to keep it as more decimal places. Ya, Aisyah.
Saya dapat 0.82 kalau bunda kat belakang. Oh, okay, dah perasan dah. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Guys, please find your standard deviation up to 4 decimal places. Please find up to 4 decimal places. Okay, how to distinguish whether we want to make it 3 decimal places or 4 decimal places? Because we still need to calculate the Pearson's coefficient. Kita still kena calculate lagi, Pearson's coefficient. Okay, by using the formula of 3 mean minus median divided by our standard deviation. Okay, we still need to calculate by using the values that we obtained before. So if you use the short decimal places form, kalau you gunakan sikit, kalau you guna 2 titik perpuluhan, maksudnya you punya Pearson's coefficient of skewness lagi, you punya bacaan akhir tu, you akan kena guna kurang lagi daripada tu. Maksudnya kalau dekat sini 4 titik perpuluhan, dekat sini pun boleh 4, maksudnya 2.4800 kan, 00 belakang ni kan. So kalau 4 titik perpuluhan, so the last value can make it 3 decimal places lah. Bolehlah buat 3 titik perpuluhan. Kamu tak boleh buat tiba-tiba 2 titik perpuluhan, lepas tu yang ni pun buat 0.82, 2 titik perpuluhan, tiba-tiba yang sini bagi 3 titik perpuluhan. Habis lah. Value tu akan jadi lari lah. Boleh faham tak?
Faham sir.
Kita tak boleh nak round off awal. Tiba-tiba round off awal-awal 2 titik berapa, tiba-tiba yang bacaan last yang menggunakan calculation sebelum tu you bagi 3 titik puluhan. Tak boleh. Okay? Dia akan jadi banyak error.
Boleh, sir.
Alright. So what we can do is try to make it bigger. Okay? So try to have more decimal places. For example, you want the final answer to make it 3 decimal places, for example. So previous calculation, please make it at least 4 decimal places. Okay, at least 4 decimal places. So I would love to keep our standard deviation as 0.8176. Betul tak? 8176 tadi. Vanessa cakap tadi 76 kan? Betul tak? Kan?
Betul.
Betul sir.
Okay,
Betul, sir.
8176. Okay, thank you. Alright, so let's calculate for this one. So now we can happily calculate this. 3 min 2.48 minus our median 2.45. Right? This one no need to keep as 4 decimal places because this is exact value. 2.4 to 2.45, 2.48 tu exact value dah. So divided by our standard deviation just now, 0.8176. Okay, so what do you get for the answer?
0.1101.
110, exactly.
Yes.
101.
Betul.
1101 Okay, so means that 0.110 lah. 0.110. Okay, so let me double check. 0.110 0.110 or actually we can accept 0.11 pun boleh terima lah. 0.11. Okay, so 0.110. Let's say guys, actually we have done completely with the question. Kita dah siap dah calculate Pearson's coefficient of skewness. Kita siap dah calculate Pearson's. So done. Let's say I want to add on a question. Calculate and interpret. Let's say I want to add on the question. Calculate and interpret. What does it mean by interpret? So we want an interpretation. What does it mean? This one. This is what we call as the interpretation. Maksudnya kita nak tengok value dia. Skewed to the right ke, skewed to the left ke, positively skewed or negatively skewed, almost symmetrical ke, whatsoever. Okay, so take a look at the value. Please interpret for me. The data distribution
Bigger than 0.
okay, so bigger than 0. So this one bigger than 0. Of course, bigger than 0. Therefore,
Skewed to the right.
Skewed to the right.
skewed to the right. Yes, skewed to the right. Nampak dah Amar muncul dah tu? Skewed to the right. Skewed to the right, or you can say positively skewed. Is that okay?
Okay sir.
Pilih yang
Okay,
mana
sir.
berkenan. Ada orang trauma perkataan positif ni. Sebab kes-kes COVID ni. Tak payah pakai positif, pakailah skewed to the right. The data distribution skewed to the right. Or you can say the data distribution positively skewed. Guys, do we need to use the word slightly? Kena guna the word slightly tak?
Tak.
Kita tak perlu guna No need to use the word slightly because we have 0.11. Okay? The word slightly being used if it comes down within this region negative 0.1 to 0.1 tu. Maksudnya 0.11 tu dia terkeluar. So tak payah pakai slightly. Is that clear? Boleh? Boleh kan?
Boleh, sir.
Sir,
Alright. Ya.
nak tanya kalau
Nak jawab. Mana?
dapat jawapan 0.1 tu tapi terlupa nak guna slightly tu. Jawapan dia salah ke macam mana?
Okay, so far dia depends kepada ketua pemeriksa. Kalau dia kata kena ada, kena ada. Kalau dia kata tak apa, let's be lenient for this semester, diterimalah. Tapi disebabkan nampak dekat sini, dia highlight ni kat sini, nampak tak? Dia ada highlight kat situ. So, berat hati saya mengatakan memang kena ada perkataan slightly tu. Is that clear?
Clear, sir. Thank you.
Clear lah. So, please make sure of this one because this one dia highlighted lah. Highlighted. So, most probably latest punya marking scheme dia memang memerlukan perkataan slightly itulah. Okay. Alright guys, so I still have some space here. I want to modify the question a little bit. Let's say saya masih lagi menggunakan data yang sama. We are still using the similar data. But instead, I'm asking you to find mean and mode. Hence, calculate and interpret Pearson's coefficient of skewness. Dapat idea tak? Kita nak gunakan data yang sama tapi soalan tu saya ubah sikit. Okay. So still if we want to calculate our mean not going to be a problem. Our mean we calculate, we are still using the similar calculation x bar, and then we will still get 2.48. Okay, mean done. Okay, how about the mode? What is the mode, guys?
2.4.
Okay, start 2.4. 2.4, okay? And then they want you to calculate the Pearson's coefficient. Take a look, because of the word hence, it is compulsory to use the second formula. Is that okay? Second formula of Pearson's coefficient of skewness.
2.4.
Faham tak? Sebabnya kita kena guna yang ni. Second formula. Kita tak boleh guna mean dengan median lah. Kita kena wajib guna mean dengan mode because of the word hence. Kalau dia kata hence or otherwise, terpulang. Nak buat macam mana pun. Hence or otherwise, terpulang dia kata. Tapi kalau dia kata hence, means that by using the calculation that you obtained just now, proceed with the next calculation. Okay. So means that we still need to calculate our standard deviation. Of course, our standard deviation. Give me a second. Okay. So standard deviation, we calculate and then we obtain this one, 0.8176 just now. Standard deviation. So now we can proceed with the word hence, calculate and interpret the skewness. So the formula is mean minus mode, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, mean minus mode divided by our standard deviation. So calculate for me. What do you get? Mean.
0.098.
Nampak jawapan dah lain sikit dah tu. 2.48 times minus 2.4 all together divided by 0.8176. So this one you get what do you get just now? 0.9?
0.9.
0.098. 0.9. 0.098.
Okay. Thank you very much. 0.098. Is that correct?
0.293.
293. Oh, lain. Saya kira betul tu. 2.48. Let me double check. 2.48 minus 2.4 divided by 0.8176. 0.0998, right? 0.098. Okay. Okay, guys. So you obtain 0.098. This is the answer of the calculation. And then they want you to interpret. So let's interpret. Okay. Nampak tak? Jawapan kita dah lain dah dengan Pearson's coefficient yang tadi tu. So, how do we interpret the data?
Slightly.
Distribution. Oh,
Slightly.
slightly je.
Slightly.
Right.
Slightly.
Distribution dan distribuzione. Sekejap. Terespana pula kat sini. The data distribution is slightly
Skewed. Positive.
skewed
Yeah, positive.
Skewed to the
to
right.
the right. Skewed to the right. Or slightly slightly positively skewed. Oh, slightly positively skewed. Boleh layan. Jangan risau. Dia mat ni dia tak ada grammatical error Slightly positively skewed. Boleh. Hadap yang mana-mana lah. Alright, so we covered both formulas already. Any question you want to ask? Ada apa nak tanya tak? Tak ada Jiwa dah sampai rumah
Tak ada, sir.
Ada. Simple. Simple sangat Okay. Bismillah. So let's proceed with example number 2. Example number 2 Okay, so now we are dealing with what kind of data? Group.
Group data.
Group
Group data.
Guys, you jangan tengok table terus group tau. Be careful Jangan tengok table terus group. Okay? You need to make sure you have table and then you have interval. Interval means that 10 to 15 ni. 10 to 15. 15 to 20. Dia ada interval. So interval baru group. Okay? Kalau interval baru group. Otherwise dia tak semestinya table to group tau. Be careful. Okay. The frequency distribution of the age in years of 80 patients in the clinics. Oh, klinik Oh, dahsyat klinik ni 80 orang pesakit dia Kalau ikut klinik sini 80 orang tutup dah ni. 80 patients in the clinics is given in the table below. Penuh lah ni full house. Kau hospital Find the mean and mode, hence calculate and interpret Pearson's coefficient of skewness given that the standard deviation. Oh, given already guys, given already. Bonus. Satu Malaysia confirm betul soalan ni. So be careful others. Find the mean and mode. They ask you to get mean and mode. So we knew already which formula that we want to use. Obviously, we will use formula number 2. Right? Mean minus mode tadi. And then don't forget to calculate and interpret. Calculate and interpret. Interpret ni jangan lupa interpret. The data distribution. That's the idea of doing this one. Okay. Alright. So guys, number of patients we denote as what? Kita tulis sebagai apa? Yang ni F kan? Betul tak?
Betul.
So means that total F? How many total F?
80.
80.
80.
Total F you have 80. Alright, from age we can obtain what? Kita boleh cari apa?
Midpoint.
Midpoint, right?
Midpoint.
Okay, midpoint. Okay, state the midpoint of this one. This one is 12.5. No? 17.5. Okay, June. 22.5. Let's proceed. 27.5 and so on. 32.5. 37.5. Right. Okay. Next. We want to find mean, guys. We want to find mean. So what does it mean? Oh lama. We want to find mean. What does it mean? Macam patut dua kerat Mean sum of what? What?
FX.
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 Be careful, not just sum x. Sum fx divided by sum
X.
Okay. Therefore, we still need to calculate sum of fx. Please calculate for me sum of fx. Every x times with the corresponding f and then add on all together to get sum fx.
1985.
1985. Exactly Oh,
Yeah.
Vanessa,
Yeah.
1985. Hei lah. 1985 dekat dengan tarikh saya, dengan tahun saya lahir. Hampa 2000 apa? Lahir bila? 2003 lah.
Ya.
Ya Allah.
2002.
2002. Cik, Malaysia ada sini lah. Okay. Alright. So 1985 divided by 80.
80.
Okay. Please calculate.
24.8.
24.8125. Betul tak?
81.
Itu sir.
Okay.
Betul.
So guys, kalau dekat kalkulator tu dia bagi 24.8125, tulis
Ya.
je 24.8125. Jangan kedekut 24.8, 24.81. Jangan lah. Okay? Sebab dia memang ada fixed actual value tu, just continue. Finish up all the values. Okay? Jangan duk round off, seronok sangat round off je kerja kan. Okay, so mean done. Mean settle. So mode. Mode. Recall balik. Last time, how do we calculate mode? Ni yang shock ni buat benda ni. Dia macam revision sikit semua benda. Mode. Come on. Brother. How do we calculate? Ingat lagi formula? Lower boundary. Plus. Diam semua.
D1.
Yang ada D1, D2 tu.
Plus D1 plus
Dah.
plus C.
Okay, thank you very much for the overwhelming responses. Okay. Which class for the mode? Which age?
2025.
2025, right? So
2025.
this is the
D1 over D1 plus D2.
Oh, lama. Okay. Rina dia baru sampai ke tapi dia. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the response. Lower boundary guys, lower boundary.
20.
Okay, lower boundary somewhere in the middle here, lower boundary. Itu yang saya lebih suka, data yang horizontal macam ni. Kita boleh nampak dia dekat sini, tengah-tengah ni apa. Okay, in between 20 and 20, so lower boundary will be 20 not 19.5 jangan buat 19.5. Okay. So lower boundary plus, okay, what is D1?
9.
D1 means that difference between the mode frequency with the previous. So this one is D1. This one is D2. Okay. So means that 9 over 9 plus
6.
6. Okay, what is C?
5.
5.
Lima.
Sure. 5 or 6?
5.
5. Okay. Be careful. C always the formula always the upper class boundary minus lower class boundary. Always. So your C. So be careful with the L and C lah. Selalu L dengan C ni yang jadi masalah. Okay. Please do calculate. What do you get for mode?
23.
Exactly.
23. Yeah.
Okay. So mode you obtain exactly 23. And given to you already your standard deviation given to you standard deviation 6.798 already. Alright, so now we can proceed with our Pearson's coefficient of skewness. The formula is S sub k. So we need to use the second formula because of the word hence, mean and mode. So formula mean minus mode over standard deviation. Alright. So mean, be careful with the value. Jangan tersalah.
23.
Jangan tersalah masuk pula. Minus 23 divided by 6.798. Alright guys, so what do you get for this one?
0.267.
Once again, Fatin.
0.267.
267. How about others? Sama tak? Okay, Akilah pun kata sama. 0.267 juga. Okay. Ya, korang jangan main sama-sama je. Kena betul-betul kira. Sekali lagi saya risau masuk exam biasa kawan tolong kira. Tiba-tiba nak kira jadi tak reti. Kalkulator pun habis bateri sebab tak pernah guna. Tu bahaya tu. 0.267. Okay, be careful. We want to interpret as well. Therefore, the data distribution
To the left.
Slightly
Skewed to the left.
to the right.
Slightly
To the
Sure.
right.
Tak ada.
Squeeze.
Slightly.
Squid.
To the right.
Masya Allah. Squid Sotong The data distribution skewed
To the right.
to the right. Korang nak balik AP
Happy sir.
Tak balik sir.
Ya, tak balik. Tak balik. Belajar. Line laju, jangan risau. Ramai kawan balik, line nanti laju. The data distribution skewed to the right or positively skewed lah. Okay. No need to use the word slightly. No need no need. Sebab dia besar daripada 0.1. So, tak payah guna lah. Okay. Tak ada belajar skewed to the left hari ni Nak buat macam mana Dah example macam tu dalam nota kita tu. Alright guys. So, ada lagi space sikit ni. Saya ubah sikit soalan. Contoh saya ubah sikit soalan. Hence or otherwise. Hence or otherwise. Calculate Pearson's coefficient, calculate and interpret lah. Calculate and interpret. Calculate and interpret. Skewness. Okay. So what does it mean? Kalau hence or otherwise, you dah cari mean, you dah cari mode, tapi rasa macam tak mencabar sangat soalan ni. Macam terlampau senang. Dia rasa tak seronok. Dia rasa macam nak guna formula number 1. So involving median. Boleh, tak ada masalah. So let's calculate median. You faham tak maksud saya? Kalau ada perkataan otherwise ni, boleh.
Otherwise ke sir?
Apa dia?
Sebab dia ada otherwise.
Ya, betul. Betul Aisyah. Maksudnya kalau ada perkataan hence or otherwise. Otherwise tu ada. Maksudnya dua-dua formula boleh pakai. Nak pakai mean median boleh, nak pakai mean mode pun boleh. Tapi kalau ada hence saja memang kena ikut colour biru lah. Kalau ada hence saja, maksudnya hence saja, memang kena ikutlah formula colour biru ni. Semua sampai ke bawah tu. Mesti pakai yang ni. Mean minus mode. Tapi kalau ada hence or otherwise, you can use the formula of median. Boleh, tak ada masalah. Okay, so let's calculate median. Saja-saja nak sambil-sambil nak revise. How to calculate median. Median is what? Q2, right?
P50.
P50, yes. Thank you, Aisyah. So, P50. So, the formula will be lower class boundary plus data kan? Number which data kan? Saya ajar kan? So, K over 100 times with N minus total data before, right? Total frequency before divided by the current frequency of your class times with class width. Okay, recall balik. This is the formula. Risau saya ni. Ramai diam Okay, guys. Okay. So which data that we want? So 50%. 50% of our data. Our data is 80. So what do you get? Which data?
40.
Data ke 40. Okay, so which class? Which class?
20 to 25.
Still 20 to 25 lah. Okay. Yes, you still have 40th data in similar class with mode. Coincidentally similar class with the mode. Coincidence saja lah. So your 40th data will lies in this current data yang saya tunjuk ni, 40 ni. So your L 20. Betul?
20.
Okay. The data that we want, the 40th data minus total before. Total before?
15.
Total. Dia kena tolak total sebelum tu. Semua sekali. Sebab kita nak data ke 40, jadi kita kena tolak dengan semua yang sebelum tu. Sebabnya kita nak bahagi dengan yang sedia ada. Divided by
24.
24. And then times with C. What is your C?
5.
5. Okay. Alright. Jangan confuse Saya bagi yang color lain ni, color yang belah kanan ni, color macam orange color ni, saya bagi alternative questions alternative questions, bukan alternative answers tau. Saya buat soalan lain dekat belah kanan ni tapi menggunakan data yang sama. Okay. Sambil-sambil nak revise tu. Alright, so let's calculate. 20 bagi 24 kali 5.
24.167.
24.167.
Okey, 167 tu tepat ke macam mana?
Bunda.
Bundar.
Okey.
6666.
Let's make it bolehlah diterima 167. Kenapa saya terima 167? Sebabnya standard deviation kita pun 3 titik perpuluhan. Sebab tu saya terima 167. Dapat tak? Dia apa orang kata sama apa bilangan titik perpuluhan tu sama. Jadi bila kira coefficient lagi pun dia synchronize lah. Boleh faham tak guys?
Boleh sir.
Ya. Ya. Oh boleh. Cakap boleh ya. Ingatkan tanya apa tadi. Alright, so let's calculate our SK skewness. So we can use the formula of mean minus median. So 3 times, be careful mean minus median dia ada 3 dekat depan Mean minus median, right? Divided by standard deviation. So 3 times mean. Mean we obtained already. 24.8125 minus our current median just now. 24.167. All together divided by the given value 6.798. Okay, so calculate dapat apa?
0.285.
0.285.
285.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. We accept 0.285 or 0.29. Kita accept juga 2 titik perpuluhan sebabnya standard deviation bagi 3, so jawapan akhir bagi 2, tak ada masalah. 0.285 or 0.29 acceptable. So as you can see, the values almost similar. Almost, not similar, but almost. Okay. So means that the result will still implies this one. Betul tak? Dia still data yang ni juga. The data distribution skewed to the right or skewed to the left juga. Betul tak? Okay.
Betul, sir.
Betul.
Okay guys. So that's the idea of chapter 6. We have done completely with everything for chapter 6. Habis dah. Sadaqallahul-Azim. Okay. So how was it? Chapter 6. So far okay tak? Chapter 6 saya rasa yang senang kan? Dia mesti score punya chapter 6 ni.
Paling best.
Okay. So as
InsyaAllah
I told
boleh,
you
sir.
before, chapter 6 onwards all together involving statistics. All together involving statistics. Biasanya yang bukan jiwa calculus ni, integration, differentiation, dia tak boleh buat. Statistik biasanya dia boleh buat, tak ada masalah. Statistik ni dia totally benda yang berbeza. Nah, bidang matematik yang sangat berbeza.
So kalau statistik berapa persen dalam exam?
Oh, statistik berapa persen dalam exam nanti saya clarify balik. Aisyah, boleh tak tu? Sebab saya pun nak kena tengok balik semula apa ni. Sebab saya bertukar-tukar. Kejap di SES, kejap masuk account. Ni saya masuk SM balik. Okay, nanti saya clarify balik lah. Sebelum nanti nak dekat ni nanti saya akan finalize. Boleh ke Aisyah?
Boleh.
Boleh lah. Kalau saya terlupa nanti peringat saya semula. Okay, good question. Very good. Amar ada, Amar. Amar Habib ada tak? Amar Habib Jibril ada?
Ada.
Tu siapa tu? Tu Amar. Habib ada, Habib. Habib. Cundang. Jibril ada, Jibril. Saya Jibril. Tak ada? Syazwan Hakimi?
Ya.
Oh, Syazwan Hakimi ada. Okay. Tak apa. Alright guys, so any question you want to ask regarding chapter 6 so far? Ada apa nak tanya?
Okay.
Tak ada. Okey, yang ada tak ada.
Tak ada
Yang
lagi.
Yang slightly tu guna bila 0.1 je kan?
Yang ni. Slightly. Mana Ustaz? Nak pakai color apa lah mah? Hijau color hijau. Ni mah. Nampak mah?
Guna time 0.1 je lah kan?
Yes. 0.1 kalau negatif 0.1 lah. Below than that. Nah. Maksudnya antara tu. Kalau kosong jangan pakai slightly pula. Kalau kosong kita tulis symmetrical. Dapat Boleh? 0.1 tau, bukan 1 tau. Sekali lagi takut ada yang confused. Sekali lagi ada yang 0.9 pun dia buat slightly. Dah dia 0.1. Below than that. So maksudnya 0.09 ataupun negatif 0.09. Okay. So I think that's all for today for our lecture. So please finish up your tutorial for chapter 6. Guys, I give to you 2 weeks 2 weeks starting from now to finish up all your tutorials. Okay? We will check when we have face to face. Sudah okay? Boleh 2 minggu daripada sekarang. Tak ada assignment, tak ada apa. 2 minggu dari 2 minggu dari sekarang siapkan semua tutorial tu. Okay Alright, so I think that's all for today. So we have done completely with chapter 6, recall it back, chapter 6 involving ungroup dengan group So we have 2 totally different mazhab okay. Formula ungroup lain, formula group lain. So kena recall balik. Formula zaman sekolah jangan pakai langsung. Formula zaman sekolah jangan pakai langsung sebab zaman sekolah mostly involving population. So the formula slightly different. Okay. Kalau ada kena pun kebetulan sama saja. Okay. Alright, so I think that's all. So balik rumah elok-elok, kirim salam pada mak ayah. Siapa yang stay college, boleh manfaatkan masa tu untuk study lebih. Alright, sambil ambil study tu kena reward diri sendiri juga. Jangan stres-stres. Kalau stres sangat, contact saya .
Boleh sir.
Boleh sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay guys, so take care. Okay, bye. Okay, take care. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Okay, bye. Assalamualaikum. Okay,
Thank
bye.
you.
Terima kasih puan Saudah.
Thank you sir. Happy holiday.
Bye.
Thank you sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Dia punya bye dia main semangat lagi
Thank you, sir.
Alright guys, take care.
Thank you sir.
Okay, you guys main live first boleh live dulu.
Thank you sir.
Live laju. Saya nak tengok sampai tidur.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Shin. Oi, Amar, tidur ke?
Sir.
Ah,
Ada soalan nak tanya ni.
mana? Nak tanya apa?
Yang pasal yang 50 tadi tu. Dia kan P50 kan?
Sat. Saya patah balik
Yang last kali.
Give me a second. Soalan yang last ni, yang P50 P50 kenapa pakai 40 ke?
Yang itu.
P50 kenapa pakai 40 ke? Kenapa
Tak
pakai
faham macam mana
40?
tiba-tiba ada P50.
Oh, dia median Median dia akan pakai P50 Median kan tengah-tengah. P50 tu maksudnya 50% 50%. Tengah-tengah.
Memang kena guna 50% lah.
Median. Median tengah
Oh.
Kita kan 100%. So kalau tengah-tengah 50 lah.
Maknanya kalau soalan minta macam 75 baru guna 75.
Kalau soalan minta 75, kita bukan guna 75, kita tulis P75, tapi 75% daripada data. Data kita 80, faham tak? Data kita 80 ni nampak? Data 80. Sebab tu bila kita buat 50%, 50% P50 dalam situasi ni P50, 50% daripada 80 adalah 40. Data ke 40 lah. Sebab tu data ke 40, kita tulis 40 kat sini Dapat?
Faham.
So kalau 75, kena 75% daripada 80 lah. Jangan terus guna data ke 75. Faham tak?
Okay.
Kena kira dulu data ke berapa. 75% daripada 80. So data ke berapa? You kena kira dulu.
Faham.
Okay, dapat? Kalau 75 tu mah maksudnya itu Q3 lah. Third quarter.
Third quarter.
First quarter 25 kan? Second quarter median P50 lah. Kalau third quarter P75 lah.
Okay.
Okay, boleh? Ada lagi tak?
Tak ada.
Alright, Chun. Apa Roger? Diam tepi.
Baik.
Okay guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, baik mah. Alia Dini ada lagi? Alia Dini? Alia? Emilia? Alia Dini? Emilia? Left laju-laju. Alia Dini? Emilia? Ni mesti lupa nak left lah ni. Alia Dini, Emilia, boleh left dah.